Okay, so this is your maths for Monday the 20th of April. Now the good news here is that if you found yesterday's maths okay, so adding decimals within one, then today's should be quite straightforward, okay? So you can use the same strategies, but you are just subtracting instead of adding today. Okay, so these will be your questions for the day. Let's just have a quick recap of those strategies that you might be using today. Okay, so to start off with, we've got that number line. Okay, so some of you might have found that really useful. Here we've got, again, a number line from 0 to 1 labelled up with all of the different intervals in tenths. 0.9 is what we're starting from, so there's 0.9, and we're taking away 0.2, we're taking away 2 tenths. So there's 1 tenth, 2 tenths. So that box at the end is 2 tenths, and we've taken that away, and it takes us to 0.7. Okay, so using the number line just like you did yesterday, but using it to subtract, to count down instead of adding. Strategy number 2 are those part whole models. Okay, so your 0.6 should be these two numbers added together. Okay, so we've got our 0.3 and what will make 0.6. Okay, so looking at the other way around, 0.6 take away 0.3 will leave us with this number here. This one, it's exactly the same, but it's just turned around on its side, so just another way of seeing that same visual representation. So here we've got our 0.09, which is made up of 0.03 and one more number there. So 0.09 take away 0.03 will give you that number that you're looking for there. So those are the part whole models. Strategy 3 is the good old place value chart. So for this one, we've started with 0.42. So we've drawn in, or we've used counters to show 0.42. So 0.42 is 4 tenths and 2 hundredths. So there it is there. And we're taking away 0.3. So you could either cross those out, those 3 tenths, or if you're using counters, you could physically take those away and you'd be left with 1 tenth and 2 hundredths. Okay, so that place value chart is a really nice way of seeing it partitioned as well. Finally, we have column subtraction. Okay, now this will be, for some of you, this will be the way, well, probably a lot of you, this will be what you're using. And for a couple of the questions for today, this will be the best strategy. So again, just to remind you, when you lay it out, using squared paper is the best way of doing this. So you make sure that you've got your columns and your digits in the right place. Put in your decimal point first before you start doing the calculation, so you've got that in the right place. And it might be worth putting a 0 in as a placeholder. So I would put this as 0.40. It's the same number, and it doesn't change the number, but it would just help to make sure that you're doing your 9 hundredths subtract 0, and you're getting confused. Okay, so that would be laying it out as neatly as that, just like you've been doing in your books at school, will be really important. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the questions for today. This one you probably might find tricky, not because of the maths, but because you've got to explain it. Okay, so which one of these do you find the easiest, and which one do you find the trickiest? So that's your opinion. But what's really important is you've got to say why. You've got to explain. That might take a few sentences, okay? It shouldn't be more than just a word or two. You should have a full sentence explaining why you found one of them easiest and why you found it hard. So make sure you've got your explaining your choice as part of your answer. This one should be fairly straightforward. It was a bit like the one that you had yesterday for your adding. You've got 3 sections of that one there. 3 and 4 are similar. The best strategy for these ones is going to be, I think, your column subtraction. So use that. And then 5, that's moving you on to column subtraction a bit more as well. So give that a go too. Okay. Right, I hope that makes sense. Good luck. Enjoy those. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, save them for the Zoom clinics or send us a message.